You are watching a Fact TV presentation of the town of Swanzey.
To the town of Swansea Select Meeting. So, we're here with Rick. You want to come up and sit in the chair here? You can bring your wife with you if you'd like. If she, can you come up, please, Sharon? Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
All right. So, Jay, are you gonna take some brief minutes for this? Are you gonna do some minutes?
If you want me to do minutes, I will.
Well,
Yep. Yes, I can.
okay. All right. So, how we got here is that Rick had some concerns. He came to a regular select board meeting back on the, whatever it was, the one before this, and it seemed like as he started, it seemed like we had a lot of discussion to go over, and we were in a public meeting with a lot of people, and we didn't have the time really to spend. So we decided to pick some solid time, which is this time now, so we can concentrate just on these issues without no interruptions and people sitting out there waiting, bored with it. So that's why we're here tonight. So Rick seemed to take a handle of this, it looks like, and made up the agenda. So we're going to go with Rick's agenda, I think. And Rick, I'm going to let you, but Rick, you got to understand, we're going to get down these items, and the items that I read, Rick, that I feel that really isn't in your job description or not, well, we can get you those answers if it's out of curiosity that you want to know some of these things.
Town Swansea resident, so.
Yeah, and you have the right to know all those answers, but I would hate to waste time on those issues. So let's go to the important issues as you go down the agenda, because I don't want to run out of time, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
So the most important issue that I have on my agenda totally is, when I started this job back in April, I was never really given a full job description of what my duties were on what I had to do here, what my job description was, and everything that I had to do here, whether it be from the sign to opening up the building, to closing the building, to showing the building, to making all the phone calls to the people for the setups, to which I think is part of the contract is going to be changed. Instead of me giving the people's telephone numbers.
Could I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
Just make sure everybody's aware that the job description is in the packet. Right. Okay. All right, thank you.
It is in the package.
It is. Not what you presented, but what we have for your job description.
Oh, something that you have recently,
No, that was,
is it an old job description or new?
as far as I'm
It's the
concerned.
one that we had from the beginning, I thought.
So it was revised, it's the new one that was given to Rick.
Rick?
In February of 2026.
Yep.
The one that we gave him, yeah.
Because I reviewed this back with us all, and we found we had everything covered, but I guess we didn't.
Here.
Take a look, Rick, see if you remember this, because
That's what that would have been handed out in the beginning, Sharon.
I'll look at the folder that I was given at the town office, but I don't remember seeing this paper.
really. Well, there's part of our confusion right there, because some of these things I was confused because I thought we'd come up with a job description of what we expected, and I was a little confused, but this solves the confusion to me, that you never read it. So why we have it, and now that you didn't read it, let's go down and let's see if we got it covered. Can everybody on the select board assist me and look at the job description when he goes down some of these things and see if we have them covered? Okay, so why don't you go with what your concerns are, and then we'll see if people find this. Jay, you gonna help me with this too?
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
I'm writing it.
Oh yeah, you're doing the minutes, I'm sorry.
He's got a lot going on for that 75-year-old mind of his. Almost
Yeah, but it's
76.
sharp, it's sharp. Like a good cheddar
Like a sharp
cheese.
rock.
Like a good cheddar cheese.
I wouldn't be asking these questions if I had read all of this stuff on here, so I just, changes my whole discussion here.
Yeah, and that's why I was very confused tonight, because I sat here, and me and Kate went over everything, and we were a little confused on some of these questions, because
Because
they are pretty,
everything that I got from you is in the folder at home, and when I go home, I'll make sure I look at it to see if I
it
can...
could have been a mistake, maybe it wasn't put in your folder, but I apologize if that was the case, and I don't know how that would have happened. I think
Well, my biggest...
we all assumed you had that.
All right, so to get by all of this, which I will look over and see what my job
Yeah.
are now.
Yeah,
The biggest concern here right now is chairs,
okay,
linens, covers.
got it.
That's not on here.
Okay.
That's not my job responsibility to replace covers, take them off, put them on, change colors, do all of that, wash them, which I've been doing.
But where did the covers originated from? When I came here, there was no covers, so
They're
where?
out in the barn,
Okay, so you brought them in here,
they're
right?
in the tote.
Yeah, but we never used them before. So, I mean,
Right,
we're
so-
not asking to use them. We
Okay.
can eliminate the covers,
All right,
put them back in the barn
All right,
until we
so-
figure it out.
So let me go downstairs and pull off the covers, or pull these off right here, and let me look at these chairs, and tell me that if you rented this place out for a wedding, if you would use those chairs. I would. They're disgusting, it looks like people threw up on them and just dumped stuff on there so bad, they are horrible. And if you're gonna just get rid of the covers and use those chairs, then I don't want to do the job.
Part of the challenge.
Because I'm part of Swanzey here.
Part of the challenge is trying to manage the budget in such a way that town residents can receive
Alan, bring that up in front of me.
a reasonable expense.
I have
Bring that chair over here.
Right, and
The chairs over here are the one
And
on
so
the
it's
downstairs one.
trying to manage that along with the lack of any significant reserve.
that's not the regular one.
It doesn't hardly have anything on it. I'll find a couple of them for you.
And they're mostly downstairs, so you get lots of
Yeah.
I think the best ones are up here.
Yeah, the best chairs are up here.
I don't think there's any dispute over
Right.
what, none of us would disagree with what you're saying.
Right.
But in order to take on a cost, it's a relatively significant cost, it needs to be budgeted for. And our budgets, as you're aware, are run through the end of the year, and they go on the warrant in March. If the budget passes, great. If it doesn't pass, then we got to figure it out. So to bring in an additional cost, like your recommendation for a linen service or a washer and a dryer in the facility to manage that, it's not in the budget this year. It could potentially be in the budget for next year.
So my
But-
suggestion is, Bill, can we offer the covers and put a charge in with the rental, which would cover the expense for that? I mean, that's an option we also have.
That's one of
Right
the-
now, the way the chairs are, I can't see renting the place out the way it is with the chairs the way they are.
It's one of the reasons we had an extra $50 for cleaning, was that things like that could be taken care of, right?
You make
could.
the rental fee.
It
Yeah.
could, but that wasn't intended to bring in a linen service, so we have to know what the linen service charge was.
See, what the cleaning is after an event, I go through here, I sweep all the floors, I mop all the floors, I vacuum the rugs, I clean the bathrooms, that's what the cleaning expense is for. I didn't believe that wasn't part of the job description when I started, that wasn't what I was told. I was told there was a cleaning company that came in every so often and did the cleaning, and that we were gonna take it over and that I was gonna do it. So the cleaning is a new thing. That wasn't part of my job agenda to begin with.
The cleaning
Then what would it
of,
be
cleaning
then?
of what? The cleaning of the building?
The $50 cleaning after each event.
Oh, the large events, we added a $50 fee to, so that it would cover the cleaning expenses or your time for cleaning up the extra amount.
Correct, that's what I've been doing. I've
But-
been doing that.
But some of that, if some of that includes also dealing with the chairs and the linens or whatever, then that's where it would come from, is what I'm saying. But in our budget right now.
The chairs and the linens didn't exist before. The linens didn't exist on the chairs. It was
Right,
just-
exactly. So it goes back to what Bill said, we're not budgeted to do the linens. The only place we might have money is if it came out of that extra $50. Like when the wedding comes by, that'd be a larger event, so they'd have to pay an extra $50 over the run.
And so when you don't have the money to purchase new chairs, so that's a problem also, so, stuck between a rock and a hard place, kind of.
Not necessarily, because you brought up the thought of renting the linens and the chair covers, which we presume were the responsibility of whomever the renter was to bring in their own, as far as linens concerned, because we hadn't thought about chair covers. But if the chair covers were taken care of through an additional cost, then there might be the opportunity to do it. But still, that would mean whatever the cost of the linen service is, because we don't have the funding to put in a washer and dryer at this stage that would be adequate to handle it, nor would the machine be large enough to take maybe multiple loads that you'd be dealing with. So a linen service would be more appropriate.
Right. And looking at my job duties, my list of job duties here, going down there, everything on here, from what I've been doing, some of the weeks I've been putting hours in that I don't know how to record. When somebody calls me on the phone and I talk to them for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or somebody calls me and I gotta show the place, and I come up here and show the place, and I only show up for 10 or 15 minutes. How do I put in my time? I was never told how to do that. If I was supposed to put in those 10 minutes, I figured I'd get a stipend a week that 100% of the time, keeping it accurately wasn't part of it, because I did get the stipend every week, my job duties. And from this job description right here, the stipend I'm getting, it isn't enough.
I'm looking down here, and out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, only 2 weeks out of the 12 weeks, you made just your regular pay. You had stipends, you had up to 4 1 week, 2 1 week, 3 1 week, right?
What do you get, cleaning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and do you take into effect, I'm looking at the schedule,
So now
let's
that-
look at next week.
Yeah,
What do you gotta do next week?
not much. That's the next question I have for you before we go into that.
So what I'm trying to get to is that you wanna pick up 15 minutes on the phone, but what about the town, when next week you don't have nothing and you're gonna get a paycheck at the end of the week?
No, I'm not picking that up. I want to continue what I was going to say.
All right,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know because I haven't done it long enough. If there isn't anything scheduled for a week, am I still going to get the stipend?
Why would you get a stipend? You got no cleaning. You're gonna get your salary pay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Am I still going to get my stipend for the salary pay? Because I didn't think I was going to.
Well, you're on salary is you get a paycheck every single week.
Even though I don't do anything here.
That's correct, like you're gonna get paid that
Okay,
week.
see, that's one thing I did not know. So that's what-
So when you say to me, you're on the phone for 10 minutes and I'm looking at a week here,
Right.
that you don't even have to come in here,
Okay.
and you
You're right.
divide that out, I think it's pretty fair.
You're right, I
Oh,
agree. And
okay.
I did not know that. That's where the confusion sits. I did not know
All
that I
right.
was going to get paid my stipend if there wasn't any events.
Yeah, because the other way we could do
Obviously,
this,
we need to have this discussion.
Right, right.
the other way would be hourly pay, and then we gotta start tracking everything, and I think it's,
Yeah.
I thought that the town, and it's easier for us to budget that,
Right.
because we know what we have to budget for, and that's why we came to that agreement. And sure, you're gonna have weeks that you have 4 events, but remember, the 4 events, you pick up $50 every event, that's another $200 on top of your salary.
Right.
So I think if you looked at this as a year, Rick, I think you come out better than you think on hours. So I don't know, you can figure out, you can make that decision.
We haven't seen that, so.
Yeah, right, we haven't, but
And I don't want to argue with the select board. I came here to try and iron out a bunch of.
this
things.
is far from an argument. This is,
Right.
I'm just trying to make you, because you said 15 minutes on the phone, I'm thinking, wow, he's making that up this week alone, you know?
Right.
So I was just saying our side of it, you know?
So, one of the things that, and it's things that I've seen here in the past, I know the previous person that ran this never put all of the meetings out on the sign here. All they did was the events that were going on.
So I researched that a little, and you took that on yourself, right?
I'm saying, do you want
We
to
didn't,
continue?
yeah, but we never asked that, and
Well, it's
then
in
you
the-
wanted to get paid for that.
It's in the job description here, Jimmy, so,
That's for the events,
It is,
not for town meetings.
right, not for town meetings.
What he's talking about is town meeting.
Right, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was getting to, what I would suggest in the future is before he does anything, he should come to the select board and say, listen, do you guys want me to put that out? And if it is gonna cost us more, we'd have to weigh that out instead of him just taking the initiative to do it. That's all I was trying to get to.
Oh, that's okay.
And,
I didn't know if you wanted me to continue doing it or not, and this is the stuff I came here to iron out.
That's fantastic, and this is what we're doing. We're getting there. Great.
Jimmy, can I interrupt you for a second? We have a member of the public that would love to talk about the chairs, if that would be appropriate right now.
Is that what you said?
A member of the public that would like to talk about the chairs.
Sure.
Ann? Thank you.
We do this. I just wanted to say that the covers are dangerous if women are wearing heels, because they're too long. So if you're sitting like this and they slip, good catch. Liability. Just want you to know.
Thank you.
She's a member of the public?
Yes. So let's stay with the chairs, so we can put that to rest. So we have an option, we have a couple of options with the chairs, right? We've been getting along with the chairs that we've had for a period of time, and we know as selectmen, we have to look at that. But as Bill explained, we just can't say, all right, we're gonna buy 200 chairs, right? But we do have the chair covers. So you suggested something about a charge, right? So we say, you got 50 people, would you give them, when they come and they first look, this is the chairs, but we do have covers, and they're $1 each to have a cover on them, or whatever, I'm just saying, $1 each. So we're gonna have 50 guests, we'd like to rent 50 covers. Now that $50 for 50 covers is 2 wash machines, right? $50 is more than cover that. The soap, everything, right? So we could give that option and we could solve that problem. We strip them all, somebody wants covers, they want a fancy wedding, they can rent the
Then
covers.
I think they should put the covers on.
Yeah, we supply them on a table, here they are for you, and this is the fee. And that covers the for now, and then hopefully that we financially, we find out in the budget, and we buy some new chairs down the line, and we do away with
So
those.
the washing room again, so when I was in Megan's office last time, HR, she told me that I could not wash the dish towels in the kitchen or the chair covers because of sanitary reasons, and that we needed to get a cleaning company to do it. So, and ever since our conversation about that 2 months ago when we started using these chair covers, I have not heard anything back about if we're gonna get a limit. I've been washing them and doing them myself at home.
Can I say something, my thought about these chair covers? I do a lot of catering, I've been doing it for 30 years, I've done a lot of weddings. I have these chair covers. I do not wash them after every event. People come in their clean suits, you might have somebody that spilled a drink, but when you're stripping them, you know, there's 5 of them. There's no way that if somebody's, when they come to weddings, they got clean dresses on, they're not working and coming in here with muddy pants or nothing. The covers don't need to be washed every time. We should pick every, 2 months, we go through them, and we wash whatever ones that are dirty.
I don't wash the covers every time. When I take them off and put them back in the tote, I
Yeah.
look at if the bottom's got a stain on them from people from mud,
Yeah.
still some, I take that cover,
There you
put
go.
it in the laundry basket, and I wash.
That makes sense to me.
I don't wash all.
Well, that
So it's
clarifies
just the
that.
oil ones that I'm doing.
Correct.
I don't think
And-
a linen service is necessary.
Right.
Quantity.
Well, the only way that I would see,
Hygiene issue, which I don't know.
Which Megan says it is, so I don't either.
well, he brought up another issue, not just the covers, he brought up the towels that he uses to clean with, right? So what I'd like to research, just for chuckles, is we have a linen service that goes to our Public Works Department, right? He would probably need 1 bundle of towels at 10 cents a piece. There's 25 to a bundle, that's what I pay at my restaurant. He could get a little bundle every week when they go to town hall for probably under $8. They pick up his bag of dirties and they drop you off new towels every week. And we talk to the linen company that goes to Public Works. They drive the truck by, they put the bundle in here, take the dirty ones. You could be scheduled every 2 weeks with a bundle of 25 would do this place. I do it every week. It's very inexpensive, especially when they come to our town. They would love that opportunity probably. And then when you have a linen service, you have the option now to offer our people if they want to order tablecloths in the future, because now you have a linen service that comes here, right? And they probably would even do these covers, like we could have so many that we could put them in the bag and then we come back the following week clean, right? For peanuts. And when I say peanuts, I mean peanuts, right?
Now you're talking linen, so tablecloths. People from these events have come up to me and said, oh, I was told that you would supply tablecloths if we wanted. I mean, is that an option on their contract?
No.
So I've been told this by several people. So instead of looking like a fool and saying, no, I'm not going to give it, I've supplied them and I've washed them. Okay, that's me. I mean, I do that to people because I want to see them have a nice wedding and a nice event, you know? And
They could be in the same category.
And I think,
The tablecloths.
is that on the contract that we do not supply linens?
It does say in there, we do not supply linens.
Okay.
So I don't understand that now. So somebody comes to Kate and rents the place, she clearly tells them we don't supply linens, and then you're telling me they come to you and they ask you, and they said, my
Well, now I
understanding
know,
was?
so I say no.
So now you say, didn't didn't you understand that when you rented the place? Because that surprises me. And the other thing is that you mentioned that you did it. When you take things on your own and then you come here, it's difficult for us. That's why I was explaining, you should come to us and say, do you guys want to supply tablecloths? And we would do that. We don't want you to take anything on your own.
Well, just for example, April Cushman's consulate, she's a Swanzey resident. She came in and she said to me, she says, oh, do you have some tablecloths I can put on the rectangular table? She says, I really need some. I don't. I mean, am I supposed to say to April, no, I don't have a couple for you to put on when I do have them? I mean, maybe I'm trying to be too nice a guy, but I'm trying to help out a Swansea resident do an event here and make it so that she says, oh, I was treated like a queen. Let's be, it's a beautiful place to
I get it,
rent
Rick.
out and-
But you're taking it on and then you're shoveling it here.
No,
Now,
not shoveling.
you're telling me about it, and
Right.
so why do you take this on and then give me the problem?
So here's the
right?
other issue too, is when you tell her yes and Katie's told her no, you're putting Katie under the microscope, because she said no, and you're saying yes, and we have them, and Katie said we don't have them. So you're causing a little bit of friction there. So we really think you should be all on the same page.
And we're not all on the same page because, see this room in the back corner here? There's been several events that I have been told by the people that when they rented it out, they were told that they could use that room for beverages and a beverage station. And this is what I am told, that they were told that they rented it out with the option to use that room. And then I'm told, no, they can't use it because all the audio and video supplies are staying there. So there's a lot of confusion going on here.
No,
This
I
is why I'm
think
here.
we're gonna get to the same page, however.
Well, we
I
are.
feel like
We
we
are.
just need to have a conversation.
So-
We all get on the same page.
Right?
Have is there a contract where all this is spelled out that they signed? Do you have a copy of those contracts, Rick?
Do I? No. I was
Okay.
going to give him a copy of the
So,
contract.
so that would be a good idea, is that he gets a copy of a generic contract which says all this stuff,
Or the actual.
or the actual contract. The actual would be best, but I don't want to make extra work for everybody, but,
Well, Katie, you could scan a copy, as
Yep.
long as it doesn't have their credit card information or whatever.
yep, and then he has a copy of the contract, he knows what we did in front of.
Exactly what's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have one of those, so.
And I don't think you should feel bad about saying no to someone, because when they registered for this event, they signed up for it, they were told it's in the contract,
Right.
they shouldn't be expecting
Yeah.
something extra, and you could say, I'm sorry that we don't do this.
So do we get rid of the 4 totes of tablecloths that we have downstairs?
I think we keep them because there might be some use for them.
What do they got, cloth
Do you
ones?
feel we charge for them like we do the chair covers? I think it's
We could do-
very
we could do
nice.
Should that be put in the contract if you want tablecloths that here's the fee for them?
We could add that along with the chair linens, but
Right.
that's a possible thing.
Sharon, is there anything that the committee could help us out with on getting together with your committee and designing something to help us? So,
Yeah, because there are
we have,
history things that, how the hall was designed to use. That room was actually set up for caterer's station. That's why that shelf was put in, because oftentimes caterers want to have the food up here, and that was what that banquet was made for. I realize the town needs to have a place also for their equipment and whatnot, and Rick had a solution of putting locked doors there. Just things like that take time, however. I mean,
I have another solution for the town stuff, Sharon, not to interrupt you, but the closet downstairs, right now, the toilet paper and all those supplies are in. I could and I will voluntarily do that myself, do my time. In the supply closet towards the back of the building, I could put enough shelves in there to hold the supplies in that supply closet, and then we could put a lock on that door and use that for the audio video downstairs. And then this room stays open and available if they need it to.
You have to carry kids' equipment.
See, I disagree with that room shouldn't be part of it, because, well, let me explain to you why. When I do catering, right, I have a big banquet hall, right? You got 100 people that sit here. You set up your banquet table. You're gonna say you put the banquet table in there, so people have to go in that room to get their dish of food?
Caterers to do their thing, not to.
A room where they can prep, like, make their cheese and cracker platters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's different. I thought you were gonna have the people go in there and get their food. I'm thinking,
No,
that's wrong.
That's what it's been used for, the people that have that, they've done it for a prep, to prep for the occasion. I mean,
Hasn't also been used as a, not a makeup room, but when there's a bridal event.
and that's what they did, the bride, one of the weddings, they used that to change in and get the bride ready makeup and all kinds of stuff like that. They
I
use
wouldn't
that.
want to tie up that room and have it locked and not have it used for.
No,
renters.
that's where I was going with that.
The space is
Flexibility.
So if you can find it.
Yeah, that room seems important to it. So then the only problem that I see is that how much equipment do we have here that you put in there? How much of your equipment do you put in there? Yeah. How much?
Just 8, 9 mics. Like that box, that one box that I bring out is what goes in there.
And what do we have down cellar?
Yes, it's just that
Yeah,
underneath that counter
it's
there,
elevator equipment. You can't-
underneath that counter there, if we put, where I got the curtain hanging right now, if we put a couple of cabinets or a couple of doors there where you can put stuff in and lock it, then you can still utilize.
Would they fit in if we put something under that shelf or cabinet so that?
Yeah, there just needs to be enough height for the mics.
Right.
So,
So maybe you guys, we can have Paul come in and just close off the front of that counter, and we make it for all the audio equipment. We can put some latches on it.
We had talked about
Okay.
him putting a cabinet in. So
Okay.
He'll be here in October.
He'll be
Can I
in
take care of that problem?
In October. yeah.
Who's going to be here now?
We have our town carpenter.
Our town carpenter.
He only works during the winter
He
months.
works for Joe, and he does side work like that for us, and he does carpentry and stuff. So I think that's a good
I
idea.
think the committee probably has some resources that
And we don't know the floors are getting done this month downstairs, correct?
All right, so how are we gonna, let's talk about, let's backtrack now so we can get clarity on some of these issues, because we're not gonna, it seems like we're jumping everywhere. So let's close out on the chairs, right? It seems to me that, Chairman, I was hoping maybe a committee could sit down and look at the charges of covers and the charges for tablecloths, and we add those charges to it, so it covers the cost of cleaning them, right? And, I mean, unless, Bill,
if people want it.
if people want it, they have that option. And so maybe you take a copy of the contract that Katie works with and go down that with your committee and say, Jimmy, we'd like to change this, come to the select board and we'll change it with Katie here, and we'll adjust these things, and we'll fix these things. Right? Is everybody agreeable with that?
There is also the liability that Ann brought up.
Of the danger.
What about the, yeah, I just don't know. The covers again, what about the dirty chairs? If we're not gonna use it.
Well, like Bill said, it has to be something that puts the next year's budget. We've already priced out some chairs, but we had decided to get better quality chairs, and the committee didn't go any further with that issue, because these chair covers came up, so.
What did we just recently buy for the Whitcomb Hall? Didn't we just buy something? We bought
We bought the
rack?
we bought 2 table haulers
Yeah,
that all the tables fit on perfectly. I roll them out here so I don't scratch up the floor.
Yeah.
And we bought a chair hauler. And then Sharon got one that was donated for the downstairs, a chair hall for the downstairs.
Okay, so there was funds there for that originally, and there was some funds that were over, and we said, hold off on the chairs, because we saw they were cheaper chairs, right?
Well, because.
So
we
where
want
are these
higher
funds, where are
quality-
these?
Highest quality chairs.
Higher quality chairs. I basically just priced out chairs like this that we couldn't clean.
So did that put us over the funds that we had? Does anybody know anything about that? Did
Yeah,
that
there's
put-
still funds there,
Do we know how much is there?
probably 10,000.
We
Less
gotta know what
3,000.
that fund is for, though.
Huh?
You have to know what that fund is for.
We're gonna have to
Yeah,
research
it's,
that.
it's called it's the Whitcomb Hall Expendable Trust Fund, I believe.
Is that a chance that committee could look into that for us and see what we could, maybe we can buy the chairs then, maybe we can just,
Well,
We also know we need to get the snow break along this line, and whether that expense would come out of that fund.
I don't think that was gonna be part of that fund.
Just saying, we need to know, that's all.
Yeah, the electricity for the outlets outside was part of that original, gonna come out of that original fund.
To do the-
Here's the paperwork and
And
the
the
estimate.
floors.
And the floors have already
The
been
floors
approved.
also.
That's for the electricity outside that could come out of that fund?
Yeah.
that didn't
So
get
that's the
done yet,
3,000.
right?
That's
No, this is just the bill. That money has to be approved first before Joe schedules the electrician to do that work. It's for the.
Is that the 3,000 you talked about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's 10,000 minus 3,000 or whatever. is what you said.
Yeah, those are rough,
Yeah.
I can find out how much money is left in that expendable trust fund.
Thank you.
And then we would be willing to do some chairs or whatever to help out the cost.
And we don't have to buy all the chairs right away. We can buy the piecemeal, but we want to get the same type, so it's better to buy all of them if we can. But if we can't, maybe we identify which ones are the worst and we can buy that many. Who
So what
knows?
about increasing the price of the rental of the hall by $20 to resident, $20 to non-residents, which would cover the chair covers for each event? That's another solution if we increase the price of the rental.
I'd
Which
like,
I think is dirt cheap right now for the town. I know we want to accommodate the town and give them a good price and have people keep coming back here, but I think it's dirt cheap.
I like the idea of someone opting for the chair covers because of the liability issue and because that way they've chosen to have the chair covers and it's not something that we've forced on them. So if they opt for it and there's an accident with someone catching their foot in it, then it was their choice to get them. And we may even say there may be some issues with high-heeled shoes or something with these things in our contract. But I guess I'm saying that we ought to, I like the idea of opting in because some people don't want them. And if they don't want them, they shouldn't pay for them. And that's the way to keep it cheaper for Swanzey residents and
I'm trying to figure out how we can fine tune these things and who has the time to do this. This is a lot to do.
Taking copious notes, the young lady to your left.
Yeah, I know, and we're always putting it on Katie, and that's what I'm concerned with, to have to handle all this, and that's why I asked Sharon, maybe she could put a committee together and work with
We have
Rick.
to have a cohesive plan.
Exactly, and they come up with it, and you guys have a plan, so she doesn't have to do all this, because she has enough to do, you know,
You guys
alone.
can keep this.
And I'm
you
concerned
can
with
maybe
that.
vote to
I mean,
approve.
but, because we have a committee, and we have you, that you guys can collaborate, you guys can talk about the tablecloths and the pricing and this and that, and then we have another get-together when we finalize these things. That's what I would like to see how it happens, but what am I looking at? For the electric. And then in the meantime, you could research the trust fund, right, and see what we have, and see what we can afford, and see, you know, because Bill brought up a good point that I forgot about, because you don't think of it till the winter and the snow comes, and nobody can park alongside this building, and someday somebody will get seriously killed. Because they will, seriously injured,
As
right?
opposed to not seriously killed.
Yeah, they would get injured with a big piece of ice coming down.
Absolutely.
There's some big stuff coming off that roof, so,
And it may come out of a different fund, but we need.
right, and maybe we need to research that too, right?
So
And in the
maybe
meantime-
One finalized thing here, one of my biggest complaints, if you walk down the stairs and look at the walls, the paint, and the condition of, that nothing's been done paint-wise, touch-ups in this building since it was redone. Except for maybe some stuff that Walker said has been used as much as the downstairs, but the posts downstairs in the middle of the room are all dinged up and chipped up, the doors are all cracking and need to be
Well,
painted.
Rick, you've been very conscientious, and we appreciate, I think he's really loves this hall, and he's pointing out, what he sees, and eventually, hopefully, we could work towards getting some of this done. But it's, like Bill said, we've got to make sure there's money in the budget. And for now, I think we just kind of relax and do your job description there, and try to minimize, not putting in as many hours as we feel like we should be.
But if we know some of the things, some of the needs going out into the future, we can start to plan for them. We can maybe be able to put some money into.
In the Whitcomb Hall Committee, without the budget, and those
Right.
items out.
Right.
CIP is coming up next month.
Yes, and that is something that we will discuss with you, trying to get that budget raised for the expenditures for Whitcomb Hall every year, so that we have money to take care of the payments going forward.
Sure.
My concern was, having a really nice wedding up here, 100 people, and I walked down the stairs and looked at how bad the walls are, and so we're renting out a facility that would.
It's an old building.
I know it is. I
It's
know,
gorgeous,
it's just,
and
that's
people
just
are-
me, I guess I'm too.
A lot of people don't see that.
I know.
Some people think it's just part of the charm.
Yeah.
And in fairness to Sharon, you are taking almost a microscopic view of the building in a way that I personally don't. I'm gonna look at the walls when I go down the stairs and leave, because frankly, I'm not disputing you, but I don't see it. I'm usually talking to somebody, or I'm late and whatever, so I don't see it.
Well, he has valid concerns, and, they're, items that we can work towards solving. I don't think anything's insurmountable here.
Right.
There are a couple of more immediate safety things on here. The ramp repair, the ramp for the.
So the handicap ramp out the back, I've screwed down several boards because when it was built, interior screws were used, not exterior, and they're all rusting and they're popping. So the boards.
I thought I had Joe fix it, I saw that.
He didn't go re-screw them all. I went and fixed a few boards the other day that popped up, and they've been popping up quite a bit. I think if someone just goes through and puts a screw in between the
I can have
interior
that,
screws.
we can have that looked at, I'll
Yeah.
take care of that.
I just worried about someone getting.
No, you don't want it, I saw a couple lifted, and I didn't want someone to catch their toe and
Right.
an older
Wheelchair
person.
or
I got it,
something.
I'll mention that.
Yeah.
Joe's on vacation, he'll be back on Tuesday, and I'll have a discussion with him.
And Paul.
And what was the other safety issue?
Someone had made a comment about that
No, it's
kids not being watched would get to the attic.
to the
unsupervised,
steeple,
you know,
to the bell tower, that door going up into the attic does have a lock, but it's never locked. I don't know if Scott himself has a key going up into, because I know he winds the clock every Sunday.
So who goes up there?
Huh?
Who goes up there?
Curious children.
But, if they have a big party and there's 100 people up here, and somebody came to fence and the kids say.
No, I mean, who needs access up there? Why?
Scott.
Just Scott? I'm gonna see Scott tonight, and I'll ask him to make sure he locks that when he does go up. How's
Because
that?
that's a serious issue.
There is a lock on it?
Kid goes up there and into the attic and gets hurt.
There is a lock on it?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Scott, well, we're seeing Scott tonight, and I'll bring it up with him, so if he goes up there, to lock it when he comes down. Because I don't think anybody else goes up there. And I'll mention it to Joe DeRusso in case his workers go up there.
The only ones that possibly have to go up there is HVAC people.
You got it.
The AC.
We can take care of that. So I'll look into that safety problem with that, and I'll look into the lock on that door. Those are great.
Katie will send us
So-
contracts in
The what?
Send in the
Whitcomb
contract.
Hall contract.
So I can have one to look over, so email me a Whitcomb Hall contract.
Yes.
And we'll work with Rick and Katie and.
Yeah, if you,
Cohesive.
Maybe we'll do a
Thank you,
pricing
Sam.
on it, on adding a
Thank you.
price for linens and stuff like that.
yeah, and then we'll
Well,
bring
on
that
that one, I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Go
but
ahead.
on that one, you'd already decided that the committee would work on pricing for linens and.
Right, that's what we're saying. She
Yeah.
said we'd get
Right.
together and do that.
Yeah,
But
and-
for now, are we
and then-
gonna still use the chair covers? I mean, on the.
I think at this
If you
point,
go downstairs and look at
at this point, now that we know there's a liability issue, we'd need to come to a resolution of that with our attorney before we continue to use them. That's just,
So removal.
With that,
Remove them for now.
for now, yeah, until we have that conversation. I know I wouldn't have thought of, I don't know where I
I know you say I'm too attentive and too, you could say anal about stuff, but, I mean,
That's not how I would
go downstairs after we get done here and look at some of the chairs down there, Bill. They're ferocious and, I mean, they're horrible, and I don't think I'd even want to sit in one.
I know, but I'm not disputing that.
Right, so what are we
Just-
gonna do in the meanwhile when we
In
have
the
to
meanwhile, we need to have a conversation with our attorney to figure out what language needs to be put into the contract if those are going to be used. Or that we don't have a liability issue, but we at least owe the citizens an opportunity to have that discussion before we continue to use them.
And you'll let Rick know of the resolution?
We'll let you know.
Chair covers? Yeah, okay. And are you in the position to bring up that electric request?
Tonight?
Yeah, at some point, so,
Okay,
just
leave
have
it
to
with me and I'll
authorize-
talk to the select board about it and see if we
yeah,
can.
okay.
So what do you need for that? You just need approval to spend the money and
Approval for the fund.
and where is the funds coming from?
From that Whitcomb Hall
Expendable
Federal Trust Fund. I couldn't remember the exact name of it when I filled out the,
We'll check with finance tomorrow.
they're probably going to give you a balance. And what that is too. Okay?
We'll follow up with that.
All right, great.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Who's running this meeting, you or him or her? Are you all set?
Rick, thank you.
Are you all set for now?
Also, thank you, appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I get a little heated now.
We appreciate your passion. Is he checking the towers?
Those go up in the attic.
Thanks, Kate. Who's that lady over there? Who's this lady?
Swanzey, who are you?
Thank you, Katie.
No problem, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Oh, yeah, I can't walk. Hey! Let's get that. What's up? Ow! Oh, perfect.
Maybe that's what happened the first time.
You take that?
We take a brief recess?
Yeah, we can do that, and Joe, want a slice of pizza? I got chorizo on those.
Aye, we're going to take a brief recess.
I just got...
You are watching a Fact TV presentation of the town of Swanzey.
don't even have an agenda in front of me.
What to do with it? You did have it.
I think Kate took it. Well, you're gonna need it too. There's a couple of motions in there, right?
Yeah, I'll take care of that part.
We'll share it, Mark, like this. This is no problem. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Alan will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
We good, guy?
Good job. Thank you, Alan.
Make a motion to approve the regular minutes for June 24th, July 8th, July 15th, and July 17th.
Second?
All in favor?
No discussion.
Okay.
Have one. Get it ready for this.
It's all right, Billy. Take your time. I'm not rushing. Scott can't talk right now anyways.
On page 4 of 6, which is the July 15th regular meeting minutes. Page 4, yeah. Under it, the first 4 lines are the reappointment of some of the EDAC members. Under administrative update, second sentence, the board is not sure where the money is coming from. I believe what we wanted to do was essentially determine where the money was coming from. The fact that the town administrator resigned was not a valid reason.
So it should read, the board will determine where the money is coming from, period.
Right.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
It's gonna take a while. Make a motion to approve non-public sessions for June 24th, sessions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, July 8th, July 15th, sessions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, July 17th, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
There's no public here, so. Either the chief or
I'm
Scott.
going to go by the public input because I think the two gentlemen that are with us tonight have appointments with us. So we'll go right to that. Chief, would you like to come up? Good evening, sir.
Nice Facebook posting you put up.
That was actually Sergeant Packer.
Nice posting that Sergeant Packer put up.
That's also, King Sentinel reached out, so we have an article on it as well.
Great.
Yeah,
Good job.
very nice.
You have a lot to be proud of with you and your team.
Can you quickly share that with everybody, what we're talking about?
Well, we awarded Kobe Swanzey
Yeah,
chief citation
okay.
for his heroic actions for that drowning victim at Wilson Pond.
Good. Nice. And they're going to put something in the Keene Sentinel, did I hear you say?
There is something there, it's an article.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, we'll talk about what you're going to bring to us tonight.
So Megan and I have been working a lot of different angles in order to try to attract more people. We recently have come into a contract, I don't know if Narcos, to us or the town, for a website, lease app, which advertises our positions. Applicant has to pay to apply. That's how they make their money. Other towns have utilized it with some success. I spoke to the chief of chapter today. He said he's had success with that. Nothing recently, unfortunately. Same thing with us, we just put the advertisement in. Haven't received any applicants from that site yet, but we'll be forward to possibly an applicant or two in the near future. What Megan also suggested, which I thought was a good idea, to increase the hourly wage for part-time employees, specifically police officers, in order to attract possible part-time police officers from other communities. Our basic entry wage is good, but we want to attract someone who's probably working somewhere else that might decide maybe at a higher price, it might be come to Swanzey. So I think it's worthwhile to try it and see if we can attract someone.
What's the wage right now?
For a part-time employee, I believe it's 34. Experience, certified police officer.
Compared to a full-time, what would that be?
Pretty much the same.
Pretty close, right?
Yeah, pretty much the same.
How many hours is the part-time? I mean, does it vary, or?
It depends. Obviously, much less than 40. A lot of part-time employees are officers who retired and they're receiving their pension. So the pension system requires that they don't work a certain amount of hours to
1320, I think.
1320.
Yeah, I think that's the amount right now.
What is that?
1,320 hours a year you can work.
So what does that come up to a week? We're trying to figure
Like
it out.
25 hours, somewhere in there.
That Mike Burke's under that.
Right.
We do have a line item for part-time employees. We don't have any. So basically, what should be pretty much full.
How is that comparable to other towns, the part-time wage?
Never really investigated it. It must be somewhat comparable to what their regular patrol officer pay is. Obviously, when someone stays in an organization for long enough, they keep going up the ladder, a little bit more money every year. So we want to put out something that would probably attract someone who's been around for at least a year or two, maybe 3.
Do you ever get people who are part-time in one town and part-time in another?
I personally know.
I don't think there's a lot of part-timers now anyways, not in this area. The only one I can think of right now off the top of my head is there's a retired officer from Keene that's working part-time in Keene. And
So again, it's retired officers is the big pool for, that's where you get people.
That's a good flow for officers who retired and still want to be active, make some money, but not be full-time somewhere else. It's reasonable, good money, paying out their experience.
Can you give me an idea of what you think would make a difference from 34 to what?
I'm thinking about maybe 40, and basically, I don't know if it'll make a difference. We're just trying everything. Because we are in need of some money to pick up some hours. So, especially in the summer, you have a lot of people who want to take vacation. So, if someone can come in and work 40 hours, as opposed to someone working time and a half, I think that's a win for the town, my budget.
There was I thought you were going to come in higher than that, and one of my concerns was that you have full-time workers. A guy comes in, he's going to put in 30 hours at time and a half for a regular guy, right? And then the guy that's been working 40 hours a week sees that this guy part-time is making as much money as he is, and his wife has the benefits, he doesn't need the benefits, and why doesn't he say, you know what, I'm going part-time then, right? Why am I going to work 60 hours to make? So that was the only concern that I saw. I weighed it all out, and that was the only thing that I see could be a negative factor to this. But you coming in at the 40 area, I thought you were going to come in at 45 or something like that. A bigger jump to make a difference, to make it like, wow, Swanzey's offering this much money. Because basically you have nothing in your budget for your part-time, so it could be affordable in your budget and you could get some relief. And the relief would be a lot because you take people off of time and a half, the regular 40-hour guys. But the only concern that I saw was worrying about, what about the guy on full-time? Watching a guy come in at 30 hours, make the same amount of pay at 30 hours, and that is legitimately could happen. And, the guy don't need health insurance because his wife covers it, and then we lose a full-time. But that could be a rare incident, what I'm saying right now, but it could happen. But the way I looked at going up on part-time, What I researched is that's the only thing I can see that could hurt us, in doing this. And I don't even know if that would happen, but I see that could happen, but 40 I don't think is, I don't think that's a lot. And I'm not sure if that's enough to really make a difference, Is $6 going to make a difference, And we don't even know what the other towns are doing right now, right?
I haven't really researched it.
Yeah.
I don't think you could research it, Chief. I don't think there are part-timers working anywhere. There,
Yeah, but they must have rates.
maybe. But they're probably in the same boat that he's in right now.
But again, we could find possibly someone who's working full-time in another agency. Maybe if the town allows them to work part-time for our agency, because they don't have any overtime in their town, maybe they're willing to come over and start part-time with us and work a few hours. Even if they can only work 8 hours a week, it would alleviate the burden that we're carrying right now.
I'm just trying to look out how it could hurt us, and I don't see where this could hurt us. I see there's no harm to trying it personally. I mean, like I told you, that incident, that the only thing that I see could happen, what I'd be nervous of is one of your regular guys that working 60 hours a week and a guy comes in and does 30 hours and makes almost as much as him. He's going to say, what am I putting 60 hours in? I'd rather go part-time. It's the only thing that I see. But other than that, I don't know how it could hurt us. You've got the money in your budget. We have no part-timers. We put it there, nobody applies for it. Nobody applied for it. But if we do get somebody, what?
We haven't lost anything.
We haven't lost anything. So I just don't know if 40's enough, to be honest with you.
What if we went 45 or 50?
I think if we're going to do it, let's make a statement.
Well, Jimmy, you say it's 40, but if somebody comes in who's very experienced, you're going to give them more than 40, right?
We could always have a conversation about
Right.
it.
So, I mean, it seems to me if 40 is the starting point, and then they negotiate with you and say,
Yeah, but negotiation ain't out there, Jay. We want to get the people in the door. He isn't going to write it up. We're going to offer 40 out, but we'll negotiate. We got to get him in the door. We got to get him face to face with him.
Put a price range in it, 40 to maybe 60 or 55.
There you go. There you go. Put a window in there.
When we get to that point, if we get to that point.
Say 40 to 50.
Yeah, the reason I made that comment is I remember it came through email or whatever, it was going to be 40 to 60. That's what you were asking for, was a range of 40 to 60. And that made sense to me, because then you could say, okay, you've got 30 years experience, we're going to pay you more than this guy who's got 5.
You don't think this will hurt the morale of the full-timers that we have at all? You don't think they'll be saying, what are we doing? If I was full-time, Joe, for you, and you wanted to give someone 10 more, 15 more dollars an hour, and I'm out there just as hard as them?
I think what would affect the morale would be having a certified police officer work in and asked to work a few hours.
Would this be something you might discuss with your guys, that you would think, so they wouldn't be shell-shocked with this, and get a feeling before we do it?
Yeah, discuss with the sergeants, and they're all
Good.
for it.
Yeah, because I would hate to we've got a small force right now, and I would hate to kill the morale of them turning around and saying, Jesus Christ, I've been here, Joe, and now you're going to give this guy $15 more an hour?
Well, you can't really complain too much, because I think we were very good to them at the end of the year. So I think they recall that. Hopefully they don't have short memories.
I can assure you they don't. Very, very appreciative.
Yeah, I think they are. They do appreciate it. I think they approached many of you, and thank you for your thoughtfulness and consideration.
I think Bill's right on that one, because they come to us and thank us, and, right, is that what you mean, Bill? I agree.
Jimmy, are you looking for a motion? Are you looking for a motion?
No, not right yet, because there's still a little more Italian out here. Whether we leave a window, like you said, like, do we say 40 to 50? Do we say 40 to, and we attract them? I mean, do we leave that so Jay's point comes through, that there's some negotiation involved in there? I just think if we're going to do it, we got to make it so people are going to go, wow, that's pretty cool, right? It would have been better to me if we knew what the rates were in other states.
You want people to go wow, but then you're also concerned about the officers who are working, so if you go too wow.
That's why I asked them.
So
But
you can't have it both ways.
40 to 60.
Can't go wow, and then like,
the
oh.
60, people get 60 are
We're
going to be
gonna
real
take
experienced.
that problem
The
on.
people who get the 60 are going to be really experienced. They're going to be more experienced than the people who are working for Joe right now. So
I don't know about 60.
I just think that
No.
it's nice to have that 60 in there just as a carrot. People look at that and say, well, and then they find out they're only getting 40. Well, they've already got their foot in the door. Maybe they get convinced to work.
No, Mark was just saying to me, Jimmy, how can you ask for a WOW version, and then you, on your other hand, you're saying that the other guys are gonna say that. And that's why I'm asking you, how do you feel it's gonna be accepted in your team, you know? And you feel it's gonna get accepted well, because they need a break, right?
Yes.
They're gonna be like relieved, they don't have to put in all this time, and they can just go home, and that's what you're seeing, right?
Yeah, they don't want to be bothered by me asking them to work.
Yeah.
So they're saying, they're not saying they want to go half-time, they're saying they want to go full-time.
Do you know what's in your part-time budget? Do you know at all?
I think it's around 50,000, if I'm not mistaken.
So if we got someone, how fast does that burn that up? Does it burn it up pretty fast? We got some room to let you go out this year?
We're already in August, it's going to take a whole process to bring them on board, so if everything works out the way we like it, they may not start in September. Now we're talking final third of
It would be a big relief for you and your guys, huh?
yes.
Any more discussion out here?
I think we should do it, although I think 55 maybe is the top number.
What do you think, Mark?
40 to 50.
Bill?
Go with the mood of the board, but I like the window.
You like the
I
window?
think that makes a lot of sense.
You do?
I like the window, I don't care what the top number is, but I think there should be some incentive for someone who's experienced to think they're going to make extra money.
Yeah. At the discretion of the chief to decide.
Do you like the idea of having some negotiation ability and going 40 to 50? And then you can evaluate your guy that comes in?
Yeah.
And I think that would be more attractive to part-timers to see that.
Sure.
If everybody agrees to it, I said we make the motion, do it tonight.
Make a motion to increase the part-time pay range from $40 to $50, if that range.
Second.
I think you meant from 34.
Well, from 34 to 40 to 50.
Second.
Second, any more discussion? Discussion, no? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Joe, put it into effect.
Thank you, chief.
Good luck, Joe. Joe, let us keep us filled in, huh? Thank you, Joe. Scott, you're up and about. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Here comes the water and sewer committee.
Is this what is this, an update?
This is an update of what we've been discussing and just a brief rundown of how we got here.
Water and sewer we're talking about tonight?
We're talking about mainly sewer tonight, we're talking about water afterwards if you want, but we're talking about sewer right now, we're talking about the rates. What we do about it.
Okay.
So how we got here is that when the plant went online, the engineers had the data go on. So they chose what they thought it was going to cost per year to run the plant, and they also chose how much water a single user would use, being a household. They figured that to be around 260 gallons per unit per household. So that went along fine, that worked okay, up until the meter users came on, and that's the multifamily over there. So they figured, well, no problem, meter users, we'll just divide 260 into what they use, and we'll get a user count, which would be fine if they only use 260 gallons per day, but they don't use less than half of that. So that came to a much lower rate than the meter users are paying than the actual users are paying. So that then comes the water sewer committee and Steve Biddle saying, you know, something doesn't add up here, something's wrong, something's going on. Because it was all over the place too. A user they thought was 3.4 people per home. And if you send around an inventory and if you had more than 3.4, like 4 people in there, 5 or whatever, it was just according to their rates all over the place. $85 the base rate, they were going up to double or triple and 100 people in the house. Well, they stopped sending that inventory around, so that's where the rates stopped right there. So they're all over the place now. So the committee decided that it's best to scrap that whole process and use the price or cost per gallon, which is much easier to figure and can be figured every year. So at the beginning of the year, you know what it costs last year on the plant, you know how many gallons went through there, divide it in there and find out cost per gallon and what we use that.
How does that work, Scott? How do you go from the gallon to what the user has to pay for? The gallon's processed in the sewage plant to what an individual user has to pay. How do you go from one to the
Good
other?
question. We're going to get right into that, as a matter of fact, because it's an estimate, of course.
Yes.
And it's a matter of dividing the number of users you have to the gallons per day, average gallons per day of the plant. And Stephen got a nice big spreadsheet, we're going back and forth with that. But we've been using kind of a low figure that, for some reason, the plant came in at kind of low running the last figures we had for the year, like around 43,000 gallons a day, which is fine for calculating, but probably going to catch up with us in the future. So I think we should use the 55,000 gallons a day, which is a minimal amount anyways, and go from there. So, and I've got some paperwork here. Steve's probably going to have to throw off the committee because I'm not using this spreadsheet.
So you basically, what you're doing is you're averaging the total use make it per individual, right?
We are, yeah. We have
Okay.
it, and I've got it in some regular kitchen table math here, which is easy to follow, sometimes easier than spreadsheets here, but I'll just go through it, what we have.
Steve could be watching.
He's probably, like I said, he's going to have me thrown off the committee. It's the same outcome, same outcome. Just different numbers.
Thank you, sir.
Start at the top, I'll go right down the list.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, Scott. Thank you.
So what we're looking at here is, top line is average flow of 55,000 gallons a day, which is what we're thinking the plant does. It'll do more than that, less than that sometimes. So that equals out to 20,075,000 gallons per year. So if you divide the cost, now that top number, that $391,520 you see over the 20 million gallons, that's the projected or proposed cost with $150,000 of capital reserve in it. Okay, so that's what we came up with that number there. We took last year's operating expense and added 100.
So the top number is money.
That number is money, what it costs to run the plant, proposed, what it costs to run the plant.
Yep.
And we used the last year's cost and added $150,000 to it. Underneath it, the divided
Last year's cost was 240-ish.
Yeah, 241 something like that. I don't remember, but yeah, 241 something. So we added that to it. That's our top, and that's the best case scenario that we're looking for. So we use that higher figure there. So if you divide that by the 20,075,000 gallons per year, it comes out to 0.0195 cents per gallon. Okay, so that's the cost per gallon, what it costs us to run the gallons through that plant, no matter who's using it. That's what it costs to run that plant. So if you take that 20 million, the next line down, 20,075,000 gallons per year divided by the 4 quarters, because everything's broken down a quarter, you get 5,018,750 gallons per quarter. So underneath that figure, you see there's 413 gallons, 690. Now that is the meter gallons. And what Steve figured, which is right to do so, is that the adjusted cost per gallon, the metered users are going to be better off if they go to a standard user fee than paying the cost per gallon, all except for one of the metered units. So that meter unit is probably going to stay on board, so that's why the low number there. They use around 413,690 metered gallons per month. So we move that from the 5,018,750 gallons per quarter. That leaves remaining of 4,605,060 gallons per quarter for the standard users, non-meter users.
And those are the 753.
And that's 753 total users. So we divide 753 users into that, and we get 6,115 gallons per user per quarter. And divided by 91 days, just to get gallons per day, that's 67 gallons per day, which is about right, just to check ourselves.
So that's what the non-metered users use per day.
Right around there. Some will use more, some will use less.
On the average.
That's typical, and that's typical with the numbers we were running through, we got some big periods in water companies, so we're running numbers through around that area there too. And for the rest of the numbers we have, that's pretty much where it's gonna be, and that's what it came out to, dividing the 20 million into the 391,000 too. So that checks ourselves right there. So if we move down to the third line down, that's the 6,115 gallons per quarter. And at 0.195 cents per gallon, that comes out to $119.24 per quarter per user. So that's the standard, that would be the standard user's fee, $119 per 24.
And just for point of clarification, per user, not per person. Per user.
Per household. So a user is going to be a household, no matter what it is, whether it's a unit in a multifamily or whether it's a regular household. If it's like across the street with a 4-apartment place, there are 4 users over there. If it's 2 apartments, there are 2 users. You've got 2 users. There's going to be a user like that.
It's whoever gets the sewer bill.
That is correct, yeah. And that's the address is a user. And if it's a multifamily, they have 90 units, there are 90 units, not users there. Charge that for. So the typical fee now, the user's fee is $85. And some are paying more than that, none paying less than that. So that gives us a cost per user per quarter. So if now we're going to get to prove it out that we can cover those costs with those fees. So we have about 753 users. So when I cross-reference it with the water company data, it's a little bit different. But it's doable to what we're calculating now, not to be exact. But 753 users times 67 gallons per day equals 50,451 gallons per day. And we multiply that times 91 days per quarter. We've got the 4,591,041 gallons per quarter. And we add back in the 413,000 gallons, 690 metered gallons. And we come out with our total of 5,004,731 gallons per quarter. That's what we're going for right there.
And the reason that's different from the 5,018, 750 gallons per quarter is simply rounding errors.
Exactly. Yes, pick that up. That's exactly why it's different. Yeah. So we've got that 5 million in the next line. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line out. That's 5,000.
Just to clarify,
Yes.
either, we're talking specifically about a few users who actually have a sewer meter. We're not talking about the water meter.
We're talking about water meter. There's no sewer meters, just a water meter. We're talking about gallons that they use of water, of bill, whether it's a 2-family home or a multi-family home.
Whether it's water or gray water.
It's not, we don't have anything that meters gray water,
Okay.
other than our affluent that runs into the river, that's not really
Right.
gray water.
So you're basing the sewer costs on the water usage.
On the water usage, water going into the building, which is probably going to be less coming out of the building because of watering trees and lawns
Cars.
and washing cars and things like that. But you have to start somewhere. That's where we are right there. And that's what the difference is. If we're, like I said, we got some of the data from the water company, and I was comparing some of that to our easier and added. There is more water coming out than there is back out with the plant. Of course, not everyone's on here, but again, it's because of that. It's because of usage on water, lawns, cars, wash cars, things like that.
Drinking.
So just so when we have the public meeting and all that, the
Do
data
you have a
based on
calculator on your
information
phone?
provided by the West Swanzey for the meter users.
That is correct. It's actually provided by the reader. The sewer department reads those meters, but we have data to check back on that we got from West Swanzey Water Company going back years and years and years. And we cross-reference it with that. But it's from their meters that we're using to get gallons per unit, actually per building is what we're doing. They're the ones that divide it up into their individual sewer lists.
So the only question I have, Scott, is on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line there. You're using the value you calculated on the 4th line, which is, we said it was rounding errors. Don't you want to go back and use the 5,018, 750 quarter there?
Yeah, we can, we're very, as we get down there, it's minimal. You know, this can bounce back and forth all over the place because of the round areas, because of the large numbers that we're using. If we stick with that one right there, the math works out here, and we can easily go back to that other one.
Because you end up with 118.21 instead of 119.24, you end up with $1 less. And it's just because things got rounded up above. I think you want to charge it 119.24, don't you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Again, that 118, it ranges between, Steve had 117 and change, maybe 39 cents, something like that. And that was using the lower number, the lower like 43,000 gallons a day. So it's a small adjustment like that, comes out on the other ends. It can change in any little bit like that. For now, we're looking at this to see basically what we're going to do. It's a selection process of what we want to do. And there's also a choice. When we get down here, furthermore, there's a choice in that. That's depending on how much you want to put in the capital reserve.
So the 150,000 that you added up above
Yeah.
is there because that's going to go to capital reserve, we hope? It's the amount over the operating expenses.
That's what it would be for.
Okay. And so if you charge the 118.21, you just have a little less than 150,000 that you can put into capital reserve.
We would, because the 5 million, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 million and 4,731 gallons per quarter at .0195 comes out to 97,592. And next line down, you multiply that by 4 quarters, and your operating budget, you get revenue would be 390,368. Very close to the 390.
About $1,000 less, so you have 149,000 to go
For the
there.
year. I mean, we're talking about a whole year. So
I know. It's not a whole bunch. No, I think it's great. I mean,
Not a lot.
all I'm just saying, that's where the money goes. The extra money goes is in the capital reserve.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
And each of them improve one another as it works down here. We're real close to getting it where it should be. That last line down there, when I compared some of the water company data to our data, I came up with around 828 total users. That would be meter users and regular users there.
I see.
Because we don't have meter users into this. But I just did a quick calculation so you can see. We divided the 828 total users into 391,520, and we came out with 118.21 per quarter. Very close to the 119. Very close to the 119.
Yep. Yep.
So that bottom line was just to check our work, just to know
Yep.
where we're tracking. We are on track.
So it looks good. I mean, it's, you know, it's more than what people are paying right now, most of them, but it's also reasonable.
It's doable, yeah.
Scott, is it about, what do you figure the increase is, 30%, 20, how much percentage is the increase? Wasn't it like 37?
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Because of the inventory, you know, most part, it's, I don't know, Steve put that down. He had a great spreadsheet here. That's some of it.
Scott, what's the average current cost you have?
We don't really have an average. Our lowest is $85 a quarter.
That's what you pay, you said, right?
That's what I pay, and that's what a lot of.
Yeah, so if you figured that out, that's probably that's what I was basing it on, your $85 a quarter,
Yeah.
and now we're at 119.
Yeah.
That 85 hasn't changed in 50 years.
It has not, and there are other bills, I don't know, single families that are paying $149.60, 102, 85, 199, 149, 170, all over the place because of that inventory. So some of those bills are going to go down. They're going to go down like by $30,
Right.
some by $80.
Where we're gonna gain is the big part, the big buildings like campground and stuff like that, we're gonna gain.
We're going to have to talk about that later on.
Okay, yeah.
That one there, that's going to be.
It's about a 24% increase for over, say, if I figured $90 if I figured $9 a quarter, going to 119 a quarter, that's extra 29, which divided by 119 is
Yeah, I thought it was
24%.
27.
24%.
Yeah.
And divide that over 40 years, it's not too bad.
No, it's not.
It's got to be done. That's probably, the committee is suggesting that it be done like this with the cost per gallon. And at the beginning of the year, like I said, it'll be changed, or hopefully they'll look it over by us, what the expenditures were, and add in proposed expenditures for that year, divided by the gallons that were from the previous year, and get a new rate for every single gallon, and then just give them the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 cents a gallon ain't too bad.
So, I've got some stuff on the back side.
Where they get in the basement?
On the other side of that paper there.
You got more?
Yeah, we are. We can talk about the user, adjusted user fee for right now, on the right-hand side there. So I just did this little calculation up as to how much of a,
I think, just before you go, Jim, may I suggest we go without naming?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, let's not say no names.
okay, yeah, I'm not naming anybody. This is on there because we're gonna have to call a meeting.
Right.
Okay, so we won't name them. They're just for 3 years. Thank you. So we'll just go to the adjusted user fee. I just did this to see what the per quarter price would be if you had no CR in there, always up to our 150,000 CR. As you can see, so that cost per quarter for putting nothing in there at all would be 73.38. If you put 50,000 in, it would boost it up to 88.66. $100,000 in, it boosts it up to 103.95, and the 150,000 in is 119.24. So that's just for you guys to take a look and see.
That's helpful.
And we need to be building a capital reserve in order to qualify for some of the grants and have bonding authority.
We do, yeah, and there is a capital reserve in there now. I forget how much is in there, but a fair amount. The system
I thought there was
works.
quite a bit in there.
There is, but it worked up until a few years ago when they started running a deficit, a $5,000 deficit, and the costs started going up. And now what we're going to be doing, we don't know what's going to cost us to go right machine. And
So back to Bill's statement, so the benefit of this capital reserve is to qualify for grants and what other benefits? It just,
to help the sewer department or pay for.
is that enough, 150? I mean, for what we got challenges ahead of us?
We won't be, as Steve pointed out, we won't be doing the whole 150 this year. It's only like 2 quarters. We got left, September.
That's right, we only do half of it.
Yeah, so we aren't going to get that whole 150, but it's a start. Correct. But yeah, will the 150 be enough? I don't know. That's what we're starting, I think. But yeah, that's the highest number that we were looking at, and again, it's a place where we're deciding at, I mean, depending on what the central wants to do with it.
For me personally, given what we're looking at, 150,000 a year is absolutely necessary. Given what we're looking at for expenses going forward, we need to put stuff away in the capital reserve. Even if we get grants, we need, as Bill said, we need to have enough money to see those grants.
I don't think it's a large increase. I think it's very fair.
Well, Scott's gonna pay $100 more.
Without any increases.
So
When you weigh out, Billy, we haven't had an increase in 20 years or adjusted anything. I think.
There's also a significant number of people where this will get a significant decrease
yeah.
for them.
There are, it's all over there.
And I'd point out that in North Swansea, I pay $200 every 2 months, or every quarter, or whatever when the bills come on. I pay $200 for water and sewer. So, over 200, but not much over. So I'm just saying that this is reasonable.
But what this does, right, it makes it even across the board, what we're doing here,
It makes
right?
it much easier to understand, and yeah, it's more.
And it's even across the board. Everybody pays the same now.
Yeah, it's more fair. So,
One of the aspects that puzzles me is the 67 gallons per day, which is so far below what this requirement is for a septic system.
that's an engineering standard, though. An engineer always.
What is it, Billy?
That's a standard.
Was it 150 gallons, 175
It's
gallons per
150,
day?
yeah. I believe the last item was 150.
Per bed.
Per bedroom.
So we're going into the, you have a 5-bedroom home, and you'd have to have a system to accommodate 750 gallons.
Which is absurd.
But we're saying 67 is what the actual number is, which is,
They'd have to leave their water running all day.
Yeah, it is about the actual number, and we've got better data now from West Swansea Water Company that it puts it up there, 67 might even be a little bit low, that's their average, because this takes into consideration all of the water use and their users there, and all the cars washed, and all the lawns watered, and everything, the water that does not come into our system.
I told you in the park, it's 60 gallons for me,
60 gallons
per home.
per home, is that what it is? Yeah, so we're
You're very close.
Pretty darn close.
Remember, I said that before you even come up with this, that it was gonna, it was 60.
It all sounds really reasonable and makes sense. The numbers you come up with here make sense a lot.
You're so right. The actual usage compared to what the engineers.
Yeah. And I also like the fact that you can adjust this every year using the same kind of calculation.
Yeah.
And so as the usage goes up, the rates will go up.
They will, and users add it on, and we add it on to the user number.
And that reduces it, and that would reduce it.
Why won't you round that number up then? 0.0195 to 2?
That's, I think we talked about that at the committee.
I think we should round it up.
Decided that.
Well, it would go from 119 to 122, rounded it off, I think. So it's $3.
That's gonna be up to you guys.
But you know the old saying, watch your pennies and the dollars take care of themselves, right?
We're supplying how we got here, and we're supplying information and the reasoning why. And yeah, if you want to boost it up to that, boost it up to that,
For figuring and everything.
And we'll know more after the first, or probably the first year we use the system there to see how it really works out. And we'll know, be able to adjust it up and down probably in the future, because if we do end up looking at King, we're not going to have the amount of money in capital reserve that we once had from the treatment plant. We're going to have a pump station and we're going to have a collection system, but we're not going to have a treatment plant. So, hey, so.
Because we're going to take away all that overhead, you're saying, right? All that, what we do over there, you mean?
Yeah, there'll be a lot, right, of overhead you take. You'll be maintaining the pump, you'll be paying whatever electricity it costs to run the pump station, a couple of pumps in it. And you'll be maintaining a collection system, which hopefully is good, which is good now. We have very little problems with our system.
And people other new users could hook into that existing collection system.
They always can. If it's a gravity line running by the house,
Right.
they can hook into it. Yeah.
So, it could be that you're going to add users as well.
Well, you can also extend the lines. It looks like the next place those lines might be extended would be up the lake road there, where that phone house is running. It's a lake road, I would call it there. Up at Ground Farm. No, up at Ground Farm. Christian Hill and Bass.
You mean put another leg onto this leg, you mean?
This goes up to that's Holbrook Avenue.
Holbrook Avenue.
This goes up Holbrook and it stops at about where the senior living is there. Just up on the little crest, it stops a little bit beyond that. So then there's that whole brown farm down there with a lot of fields and whatnot. Some of it's floodland on the right-hand side, they go down there. On the other side, there's a lot of land there. So, and it looks like the grade might be there for a while. Other than that, you're pump station, but that would be the only extension. I think that's it. In the future, first and first, take care of it.
How would you propose rolling this out from a communications standpoint?
Oh, yeah, that's what this other little slip of paper over here is for. We already sent a letter out, I guess you guys know about it or not, but there was a letter sent out in the last quarterly bill explaining, I think Joe already explaining what was going on, and the rates were going to go up, didn't know how much, but the rates were going to go up, and they had to go up, and all reasons why. So people are aware that this is happening, they just don't know exactly what's happening. So to the regular user, it's, as you have said, it's not going to go up that much, it's reasonable. And we should have some kind of meeting, maybe with the governance committee down there setting it up, I don't know, but just to explain, anyone who's curious about, why we're doing this, how we get here and that, I can explain, supply some information to the other committee members and supply information as to why we're doing it, what happened. The other aspect are the meter users. Now, they're going to be hard, so we need to maybe have them in one by one and talk to them with the select board, explain the whole thing to them, reason it out as to what's going on and why, and give them the option to go back to a standard user fee or keep meter, but it might have to happen one by one, something like that. And then there's a campground that Jimmy brought up there. Their meters were, sorry. We won't go into that.
Without using any names, do you have a sense of what one of them could be looking at in terms of price now and price later?
We do, and they will. They know what they've been paying. We know what they've been using for meter. It's forget the percentage, but it's less than half they were paying for what it really costs for us to treat.
Right, so they might have doubled their price might double.
I think more than that.
There were a couple of examples given that they're essentially paying on a per unit basis about a third or less of what their total unit.
I can give you,
building comprises.
yeah, and I can give you some just basic examples of,
Without using names.
without any names. So, one of the multifamily users, they had, say upwards, close to 100 users, and they were paying for 25 users. So, they should have been paying for close to 100, and they were paying for 25.
That's 4 times.
So, and that's pretty much where it was all along, because they were using the same standard use, the 260 gallons divided into the usage, and that's where the mistake was.
Yep.
Because nobody uses that. I mean, nobody uses that much.
About how many people in the category of the metered users?
Around 200 and, let's see now. Approximately 224 in that area. Probably, a little bit more than that, but we're talking about
You're talking about units,
Units in the meter.
units, yes.
not users, but units.
Units. Oh, I've been calling them users, but units, users, I'm using that interchangeably.
So in those metered properties, there are 224 individual units or meters.
Actually, when I cross-reference it with the water company data, because we have the spreadsheet that we've been using back and forth, and Steve has been using, but I cross-referenced it with the water company, and it looked out 283 individual units that are going to be affected.
Okay.
So are you suggesting then that we contact the meter users and arrange to have a meeting with them privately?
Sooner than later, yeah, because this is probably, if you guys decide to do it, it's probably going to go out in the next quarter. So definitely the meter users.
How much time do we have? When's the next quarter? Or is it?
September?
Mid-September?
Yeah, so you got a month maybe?
So we have 5 of those that we have to sit with individually. What about, not just the select board, what about having Scott sit in with us for answers? And Steve.
Steve, but.
I mean, we'll deliberate, but you could be there as a, to explain any major questions that you'd be easy to explain them and answer.
Yeah, Steve, yeah.
So we would have the select board and we would have Steve and Scott there, and we'd set up appointments with each one individually. Maybe we can do 2 at a time or 3, and then the next day do another 2. Then we'll contact the head of whoever we have to talk to, right? And I agree, I think we should do it sooner than later, because if I remember right, we sent the letter out, and one of the things we did add to the letter, that a letter would be following, so we wouldn't get everybody calling with the first letter. Remember we wrote? We added that sentence to it.
Yeah, information is going to be provided.
Information will be provided. So before that information goes out, I think that we should meet with those, and then we say, okay, now we're ready to send the letter out. We can send the letter out to everybody now, right?
We should have a general users meeting as well. It's not the meter users, other users, the standard users, and
How would you suggest to approach that? Like have an open, we're sitting here, people can come in at a certain time and
suggestions of one meeting. Because the information that we have to give out would be pertinent to everyone at the meeting. They can ask individual questions, but we'd be answering a lot of the questions from, say, the first question. Why this is happening and what the expenses actually are.
how would we send that out? Would we send that out in the letter? The next letter?
I don't know how to get that information out, because that's right, then you're running into the last quarter.
Right.
Because that section is, second to the last quarter, those upgrades are going.
Correct.
down.
Right.
But you could do it, they already, people have already been notified there's going to be an increase.
Yep.
So if you had this general meeting and noticed it in the bill, it would then give
Oh,
them,
yeah.
because it's happening no matter
Yeah.
what. So it would give them an opportunity to come to this meeting, say towards the end of September, and have that general, I think we're going to say open house.
Are you saying, put the increase in there and send a letter of information about the increase of your bill, there's a such and such a date that you can come to Whitcomb Hall and have your questions answered, right?
That's a good idea, yeah, that's the way to do it.
Because regardless, it's gonna happen.
And that's
It's not like a public hearing where we're gonna get, it's done, right? We're just gonna be available to explain why this happened, right?
So right now, for some of the metered users, do they even see a bill, or is that part of their rent?
No, they see the bill and then they divide it up to their individual apartments.
Okay, so then they do get billed
They
by
know.
the landlord, okay.
So
So,
tell them they're,
No, they don't.
oh,
It's factored in as part of
it's
their
their
rent.
rent.
okay, so what I guess what I'm saying is that they're gonna be told that they're gonna be, they wanna come and find out what they're being paid. Now, as far as the owners of these properties, metered properties go, they might wanna have another discussion with us.
No, that's what we're gonna
That's up
bring
to
in.
no, that's up to management. Management, they fill out the bills in their rent, so that's
Right.
up to them to explain. I would, in my.
No, we're not gonna be.
No, but I'm saying, are they gonna wanna talk to us individually about it? Because we have this general meeting for everybody, right? But do we also need to have special, separate meetings with, as you're suggesting?
For
a separate
five.
meeting with-
We're gonna do that first. That's what we were saying, we'll bring them in first,
I'm
right?
not saying no.
But no, not, you're talking about the individual, apartment dwellers, we'll say.
No, I understand that.
I'm talking about management.
Management,
Okay, management, yes.
because all the individual dwellers are part of a larger group of
That's right.
users. They're all gonna get charged the same amount, basically, per unit.
They will if management decides to go back into individual users. If they continue
Yeah,
on
they might need it.
It's up to them. We're going to give them an option. to do that.
Oh, I see, that I didn't understand.
They can't go back to the individual tenant because they're under a lease at a fixed rate. They could adjust in the renewal. So,
I don't know what you're saying.
well, the individual tenants aren't billed
No,
for their
it's
sewer.
in their rent.
It's in their rent, so, but it's tied to their lease. So the property owners can't adjust it until the lease.
I see.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's gonna be the sticky thing for them. They're
But
gonna,
that is no concern about us.
But that's why.
We're out of
we
that.
meet with them individually.
That's right.
So we can explain.
now I'm understanding why we have to meet with them.
So we're gonna meet with the management.
You have a-
Then whatever
you have a
way they
bigger-
take care of it, whatever way they could figure out how they're gonna compensate for the increase is there on them.
Maybe there is
They'll
some
set right
language
up
in
to
their
their
lease that
tenants.
allows them to do it or not, but we'll have to see. Yeah, I can't remember when I last had a lease, but I did have one or two in my lifetime.
There's one thing that's not on this list, and that's Cutler School, and that's kind of a wild card, because we don't know what they're gonna use. We know what they did use, but they're not using that. So, something just to think about.
Yeah, we won't have to meet with anybody there, we're just gonna wait. So see what goes in there.
Well, we know what's happening for the next year at Cutler School.
We do or don't?
We do. And Troy's going to be using it. It's going to be in full use.
Okay, then, you know, stay status quo. Because Cutler School came out pretty close with our new figures. It came out pretty close to, I think, they had figured for 22 users, and that's about what the gallons per day worked out to be with the water. Because we now have figures on Cutler School because they were so low.
So we charge them 22 times the individual rate?
They were paying for, let's see, it was listed in hours as 22 units. So we used the gallons per day actually per year and divided it down for the Cutler School for a whole session there. And it came out to, we were close to 22. So we're pretty close.
So would that change your divisors in the calculations?
Yeah.
But following that, we don't know.
Where did you hear this?
Right there, right from the source.
I thought that was the plan all along, is that Troy would use it for a year while their building is getting renovated. That's what I was told. 2 or 3 years ago, I was told that.
But following that year, who knows what's going to happen at Cutler?
Because it's gonna go go to the charter schools first, and then we get a second bite of the apple if nobody wants it. So rec department.
It's a nice, good presentation, Scott. I think it was very helpful.
You mean the kids from
You broke it down into
They're
language
gonna
that
pass them over.
they can understand.
Kitchen table mat, nothing like that.
Thank you, Scott.
So when are you going to be prepared to meet with the board to finalize, so we can bring in the property managers we discussed?
Anytime. All the information is here, and here, and on there, so.
Billy, is this
I think
something that we
we're-
have to vote on to approve the rate change?
I don't think we have personally, I don't think we want to vote on it. We want to get it.
Not now, I'm saying, but
Right.
is that something we have to do?
Yeah, we do.
So Steve and Scott would come in, present the final, and we would make a motion and accept the rate changes, and then we would go out, bring in who we need to, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that something you want to have Scott signed up, or maybe we put him on the next agenda?
Well, your meeting is a week from tomorrow, so maybe the first meeting in August.
Okay. So we'll make that
August
decision
5th.
after you have your next meeting, the water and sewer
Let me
meeting.
see, there is an
Which is
August
when?
5th here.
Next Monday?
Yeah, next Thursday.
So this is not correct.
Right, next Thursday, here, right here.
I might have to miss that, I'm doing the fairgrounds, and that opens that morning. I might not be here on that one. So, that's good, we got a plan, right, to move ahead. The wheels rolling forward, right? It's great.
Thanks for all your work, your whole committee.
Oh, yeah,
It was a good group,
a very good committee. We had a
very good committee,
diverse.
got a lot done.
And if you want to touch on anything on the water company at all,
What do we know that we didn't know before?
we know that they are interested in selling water companies to the town. Definitely interested, on the same page there. No price was talked about at all, but certainly intend to sell. And we know what we have there. We're going to be talking about it at our meeting next week, about describing what's there, what's in the ground, what's in, what we have for pipe in there, just what the town will be getting.
Can you put a value on that would determine what we might offer?
I don't know, yeah, I don't, there's been a placeholder there for quite a while, but I guess it'd probably take an engineer or somebody else to put a value on it, I don't know. But, we're working on it, and they've agreed to it, so it's just a work in progress right now, deciding as to, probably the price. And then getting a warrant, and seeing, we can get it to the board.
Can we have a price in time to get it on the warrant for next year?
We're hoping we can.
That's the goal.
Yeah, we gotta wait out what's going on.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
You know, what do you feel?
Just thinking, we don't have a lot on the rest of the agenda,
We don't.
so I just had a couple of things that we take a couple minutes where Scott hangs around. We could go into non-public, so he could make everyone aware of, he could make everyone aware of.
We can move into non-public with Scott, you can.
Yeah.
Well, where are we at with the agenda now? I got it. Can you hang out for a few minutes? Let me clean up the agenda a little, and then we'll go back.
We are on number 8 in the agenda, consideration new business.
I move to approve the abatement for GTL-2-0-0-0 as recommended by the town's contractor assessor, Bernice Consultings.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
But it's hefty abatement, but
I'd like to make a motion for the baler, if you don't mind.
Yep.
I move to accept the donation of a baler machine from Nanotech for the town of Swanzey Recycling Center.
second.
To open for discussion, I'll just, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's a great thing for us. I mean, they're closing up their operation, they're giving it to us, it's something we can use. It's a win-win.
Very generous.
Yeah.
So just to add to that, I talked to Josh about it, I just, to see what his thought. He's very excited about it, he's thinking we can use it for the aluminum more. It is costly to hook it up, it is a 3-phase unit. He mentioned to me that he would hire, out of his budget, that he would hire like a a flatbed to lift it, but I said, hold off, instead of spending the money, we have some equipment with the town, so I talked to Joe. Joe's on vacation, and Joe said when he come back, he'd love to go look at it. He thinks we can move it ourselves and bring it over there. And we're just gonna put it in, and then we're not gonna hook it up. Josh is gonna come and present it to the select board of how much money he's gonna spend to hook it up and all that, details. So it's just a good plan on this whole thing. It's all gonna move forward with less expenses we need. But it's gonna be a big thing to add, you're right. It's a $20,000 unit, it's used, it's probably worth 12 if you wanted to sell it now, so it's a big donation. And it's gonna be needed in our recycling center.
Yeah, just a decision on their part. They're gonna handle cardboard differently than baling it.
Yes.
They've got a more efficient way to do it, so
Yeah.
it ends up working for them and working for us.
Good. So the motion was made, it was seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Old business.
Old business. Billy, you have some old business? No?
Did we make a nomination to the CIP for an alternate? Josh, I know we talked about it, but did we actually do it?
I don't think we did it.
I don't remember.
You guys?
No, we never made a
I thought we
motion.
did it, but.
Oh, maybe you're right, Jay. I think, didn't you do it?
Remember, we discussed adding Josh Nyon as an alternate, but did we actually?
I remember Billy bringing it
I
up.
remember Billy saying that it was not in the RSAs for us to do it, but who's gonna check? That's what I remember.
Well, it doesn't say we can't.
Doesn't say we can't, right.
He just said that it just doesn't say we can't, so we were gonna move forward to do
I
it, because
thought we
he's
did
up.
that night, I
Yeah.
just don't know if we did. I was ready to vote yes.
All right, let's do it again.
I make a motion to appoint Josh Dion to the CIP committee as an alternate.
As well, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good job, Billy, for remembering that.
Administrative update?
I think,
You can go, Jay.
I just want to say that I hope that after we get the representation from Tanya tomorrow about Emmertech's phone proposal, that we'll have time to make a decision as to which phone company we're going to go to, because if we're going to go with Spectrum, they need to know by Friday, and obviously whoever gets the contract needs to get our phones ready for the end of August. So I just want us to be prepared to think about it before we have that presentation tomorrow at 10.
I think we have to find out too, where we're funding this from, right? We gotta get to the bottom of that too.
I'm trying to do that, but I think it's coming from the capital reserve fund, or reserve fund for the infrastructure, or IT, whatever it is. I'll have to find out, see if I can find out from Teresa, but
Maybe you can spend a few minutes with Teresa and see what the thoughts are,
I will try to do that.
because we got a ballpark figure.
I might get to town hall around 9:15.
Yeah. What time is the meeting, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock. Then we have another meeting at 11, so. And the other thing is that, just update on I made up a spreadsheet of the items that we have, that we know about, that we're going to ask for reimbursement from the government for the new fire station. And there's one on here I'm questioning with Mike Burke, and Stefan and I talked about it a little bit, and he confirmed with the woman at the government agency that the funds are still available, so we want to keep that eye on the fire and keep
Are
going.
the two new items on there, the blinds and the fence?
Well, I didn't put the fence in there because that's outside the building. I'm not sure to fund something that's outside the building. But I put the blinds on here. And Mike, one of the other things he sent me, which I didn't see an invoice for, and it wasn't on the other spreadsheet that Lori had, two-way radio purchase from R&R for $11,000. So that is out of there. I just basically have to keep looking at this, and I'm hoping to find out what the price of the generator is so we can add that to this, because this is.
Yeah, and that's another one where we gotta find out where we're gonna get the fence, where does that funds come from, because we have to get it, we have to move it, actually. I'd like to see it up
Teresa
before we
has an
open.
account where she's putting these things in, as expenses that we expect to be reimbursed for. And so we're spending it, you know, some of it we're purchasing, and some of it we haven't paid Gordon for yet, because he ordered lots of stuff here. He ordered almost $50,000 worth of stuff here that hasn't, I'm sure he hasn't billed us for yet. It hasn't gotten yet.
So I had one of our citizens recommended we look at planting Christmas trees instead of arborvitae and instead of putting up a fence. And so if you did 2 rows and staggered them, he said that the cost per tree is negligible. And
Is it a lot cheaper than what we looked at first? That's a cool idea, actually.
Assuming they survive, but, you know.
But then, those are like $200-300 a piece, I think. I just bought one for the pizza place out front.
we could do much better. Yeah, but you're talking a full grown one. We can buy, 2-footers.
2-footers that are going to grow.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. And every year we cut one down for the Christmas tree for town.
And we plant it.
And then we get to the end, the first one will be up again. And then we'll do a tree lighting in Swanzey Center.
Arborvitae is a nice tree, you know, provide a good barrier as opposed to a fence.
They will, but
It costs more.
$300 an arborvitae compared to a few Christmas trees.
When you're looking at 20, and we're talking about a big amount of money.
It doesn't give visual relief to the residents of the condos in the beginning, in year 1, 2, or 3, but eventually it will.
How long does it take a Christmas tree to grow? A regular sized Christmas tree?
I've talked to a farmer, but farmers-
Can't be more than 3 years,
No, it's
4 years, more than that?
most close to 10 years. If you've ever cut the bottom off a Christmas tree.
How does a
you see
tree
many
farm
rings
keep
are
up
out
with
there.
that?
Those rings are, each one of those is a year, a lot more than 10.
I think you're all wrong.
Says the tree farmer.
I've said a couple of things, Jim. This top that I passed to you was an email that we received. It came from the clean energy people. And this is just for informational only. And I want to make sure Bob Audette has it. He'll be able to come in and explain it to us more thoroughly. Then the second one is, I had a conversation yesterday with Sarah Barrett, who is the primary grant writer that was recommended to us, and she'd be very interested in working with us on northern borders. And after you get a chance to, I don't really want to go through this now because I can't. She knows it, but she's already from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock last night put all this information together on things that we have to think about. Her fee, I think, is quite reasonable. It is $2,500 to prepare the pre-application, and then $2,500 to prepare the final application, which, again, as I say, I think is pretty reasonable given her track record.
But does she find the grants? Does she?
This one is specific to northern borders.
Oh, this is just...
Because that's the one that we're under the tight deadline for. But yes, she would be able to help us with research and other grants.
And does the Northern Border Grant include some money for administrative expenses, or is it just,
It's delineated in here that some of that would go towards the engineering, and some of it would go actually towards the work itself. But there's also some discrepancy in terms of what our match is. We just have to confirm it. But she's indicated that Swanzey is considered a transition town. Cheshire County is a transition county, and Keene has a different designation, almost like difficult to develop. But in our case, it's a 50% match that we have, which is part of why we're building the capital reserve. And we just want to clarify that that's accurate.
So they rate all these different towns to 50%, 40%, and it depends? And we're rated at 50%?
We're 50%.
And what's Keene, like 25?
Keene is 25. It's either 25 or 20.
Wow. So if we're under the deadline, Bill, would you like to move on this faster than later? I mean,
It'd be great if we could.
I think we should move on this right away, because this is important.
Yeah. She also speculates that we may actually want to wait until after town meeting because it strengthens the application if the town is behind it. But that might be the actual application, but for the pre-application, she would have the time she needs to have it in by August 21st.
And if we get the pre-application in by August 21st, we have until after town meeting to put the final one?
That's what she's researching.
Okay. But I think she should get on it right away.
I don't think we should hesitate on this tonight, Billy. I think we should move on this, the sooner the better, and give her more time to get the pre-application in by the 21st is very close. And if we wait any longer, it's going to cut her time down, and then we gave her plenty of time. And so, would we make the motion on both applications, the 25 and 21, or just the first one?
Just the pre-application.
Just the pre. So we could do that.
Get a chance to work with her and figure if it's a good match, and then that'll help us with other.
I think
other
it's,
grants as well.
I think it's well needed to do this tonight. If everybody's okay with that.
Well, we can extend the offer to her, and then if she needs a contract signed, we could have it back in time for next meeting.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Just the
realize.
fact that she did all of this in 2 hours with no commitment.
It's incredible.
She'd be able to.
Yeah, and this is good for us, to be connected with her for the future too, and
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to come up. This is what we needed.
Yeah, so, Mark, are you ready to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve Sarah Barrett Consulting LLC to do a pre-grant application for Northern Borders.
Second.
Grant writer.
Grant writer.
We'll
Sue?
work on that soon.
Sarah Barrett,
Consulting.
Sarah with an H.
No, S-A-R-A.
2 R's, 2 T's.
I gotta do this one too.
Can I move forward with it, Sue? Okay.
So could I just ask that we qualify that and just that we're engaging her as a grant writer specifically for the Northern Borders pre-application, but not exclusively for that, so that we could utilize her services for others?
That would be
Without having to vote
fantastic.
each time.
Is that something we need to have in the motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see what Sue comes up with, and then we'll,
I'll second whatever she comes up with.
so did you hear what Bill wanted to?
I didn't mind hearing
Yeah.
Okay, Mark's making a motion that we engage Sarah Barrett Consulting as a grant writer for the Northern Borders Regional Commission pre-application, but not exclusively for that, to essentially engage her services as a grant writer in general, but specifically now for Northern Borders. I kind of went back and forth on that, didn't I?
So if you get to the point where he ends with, for a pre-application for a Northern Borders grant, you then say, and
For future.
for future grant
Grants.
writing possibilities.
He just doesn't want to make it exclusively the Northern Borders grant.
So we don't have to vote each time we want a grant written.
Would you like to read it back to us?
So, Mark, without making a motion to approve Sarah Barrett Consulting LLC to engage her as a grant writer for the Northern Borders application and for future grant writing possibilities.
Pre-application?
Pre-application.
Pre-application.
Second.
Sounds good to me. Did that pretty good.
Words came right out of your mouth, Mark.
Okay. So we're all clear on this. You seconded it. Mark made the motion. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, the next thing I think we should do is Mark wants to make a motion on this. We'll get this to rest on the electricity, the outlets outside here. Let's get it done tonight.
I make a motion to approve up to $3,000 to Tenny Electrical Services for work to be performed at Whitcomb Hall, so electrical installation of conduit fittings, wiring for 2 outdoor ground-mounted outlets with sign spotlights attached, and to one flagpole spotlight. Installation includes boring under front sidewalk for installation of conduit, trenching by others, material and labor included in total. Funds to come from the Whitcomb Hall Expendable Trust.
If you want to give that to Sue, I second that. Do you want to give that to
Yeah,
Sue?
wait a minute, because that's, I don't think we have to put all that into the motion, but we could put, yeah.
Okay, so the motion is made by Scott, seconded by, and then all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to go to anything else?
Was that,
That's it. We're
okay, so now, we'll give Sue a couple of minutes, let her get caught up for a second, and we'll move into non-public on
Do
that.
that, she can catch up, because he's got to shut down.
Are we at a point where we're taking public comment? I want to say something as a member of the public. I just want to compliment the town of Swanzey and the committee on the Old Home Day, and what a great job they did, because Old Home Day was, I thought it was wonderful.
Good.
I would like to add to
Great
that,
job.
but we need to bring the select board to march to the end of the parade, then we stand.
Yes, I couldn't agree
Because
with
we
you
miss
more.
half of the crowd,
I
the
know.
part of the crowd. We do it every year, but Billy's been saying this has been going on, and he's been suggesting that, let's do it next year.
Please.
Let's walk a little further.
I had so much candy left to throw out for.
I put that thought in the mind of at least one of the committee members who said she would take it forward when they get together to talk about changes.
Yeah, we might be able to do it right at the circle there and make a little thing that we can go up
I
there.
think they need a flag to do the Star Spangled Banner, and that's all they need. Wherever they put the flag further down, we can stop there. That's why they stopped there. I think that was where the last
Yeah.
flag was.
There used to be a time there was a reviewing stand. I don't know when that went away, but
Well, we'll talk about it next year, it's a long ways away.
make a motion to go into non-public
Okay. Under what?
Reputation.
under reputation.
Second. All in favor?